Hey everyone, Rod DeGeorge here, and today I'm going to give you some quick tips on how to improve your fretting hand technique. Whether you're doing intricate lines, basic chord progressions, bends, there are a few basic principles that can apply to all of those. First, we want to make sure we're working with the natural movements of the body. For example, if your fingertips are above your thumb, you will have a much wider spread. If we bend these down and have the thumb above, you'll notice that the spread is much smaller than when they're spread out above the thumb. If we're going to do any kind of stretch, we're not going to want the thumb up here. I personally can't reach it if I have my thumb up like this. Okay, so if we have the thumb lower, that allows me to spread my fingers better, and I can easily make that stretch and much more. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind. When we're trying to spread out and make stretches, we want to bring that thumb down. We also want to keep the knuckles more parallel to the neck. If we're slanted like this, that's going to make it a little tougher to make that stretch, and it actually puts a little more stress on that pinky, where if I make this more parallel, my pinky is bent and the focus pressure can be right in the fingertip and make it easier for that to ring out clearly. Now, just the opposite when we're trying to play these chords down here. If we're trying to shove all three fingers, like for the A chord, in the second fret, if I'm coming down here and the fingers are more straight, it's not going to ring out. But if I bring this up here, that helps me fit all these in that small space, and it helps bend these knuckles better. The fingers come more directly straight on, and it allows that open string to ring. So like for the E, the A, even the D, stuff like that, I actually have my thumb up here, and I try to keep the knuckles more parallel to the neck when I play these chords as well. That helps put the fingers in place. So that's one basic thing. Be aware of where your thumb and wrist are in different situations. Now, like I said, if we're playing a solo and we need to stretch, we're going to have the thumb down here. However, if we're going to bend, we're going to want the thumb up here to give us more strength and support on the neck. If my thumb is down here and I try to bend, see how the neck, the tension of the string will push the neck up. This thumb keeps the neck in place. So if I'm playing a lick out of the pentatonic scale, okay, that's not much of a stretch, so I can have the thumb up here. But if I then go into, say, Dorian, okay, I have to make a stretch so my thumb comes down. So if I'm going from pentatonic to that Dorian fingering, I'll make that change. For me, it's dropping of the thumb and bringing this wrist in here to help that stretch. So you always want to be aware where your thumb and wrist are, because that can change for certain techniques. Now say some chord changes are a little difficult for you. Again, what we want to do is we want to make sure our thumb, wrist, and elbow are in the proper position for whatever we're playing. So for example, if I'm playing the G chord, I actually have my thumb up here, and I have these knuckles slightly slanted because my middle and first finger are above the third and fourth finger. If I had it like this, I would have to really bend these and stretch them. If I tilt it like this, they're already in that shape. Much more relaxed position for that G chord. However, when I go to the D, you'll see that I make a change with my elbow and wrist. And what I do is I make that change first, and that allows me to put my fingers in place much easier, because the change in my elbow and wrist and thumb get my fingers in place already. I release from that G chord, and then I move this, and my fingers are already closer and much easier to put in place. And say I want to go to the F chord, then I'm going to make that switch. Did you see what I did there? I dropped that thumb just a little bit, brought that elbow in more, and this part comes up closer to the neck because now I want the third finger higher, so I actually have to have it more like this. The G chord, I had it slanted like this. the F chord, I have to have it slanted like that. So from the D to the F, I make that movement with my thumb, wrist, and elbow. Then my fingers fall in place easier. And then for the C, that slight movement, I still have a different position for my thumb, wrist, and elbow. It may not be much, but it is different. And I make that change before I put the fingers down. That allows me to get the fingers there in place. So they may be bigger movements with your elbow, wrist, and thumb, but that makes the movements easier for the fingers. So if you watch me play this, you'll see I make those movements of the thumb, wrist, and elbow prior to putting the fingers down. So hopefully you found these tips helpful. If so, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button. Be sure to hit the bell notification next to the subscribe button, and YouTube will keep you up to date. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Peace.